Welcome to Asia Outlook. I'm Melody and I'm here to report the top stories from around Asia. The International Criminal Court has condemned U.S. sanctions imposed on its officials. The ICC released a statement saying the sanctions are unprecedented and constitute serious attacks against the Court de Rome Statute, system of international criminal justice, and the rule of law. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres also expressed concerns. The United States on Wednesday imposed sanctions on the ICC's chief prosecutor over her investigation into whether American forces committed war crimes in Afghanistan. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the head of the ICC jurisdiction, Complementary and Cooperation Division had also been blacklisted. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga has confirmed his candidacy for the country's premiership. The 71-year-old is seen as a likely winner of the ruling party's leadership. After having secured the backing of 5 of the 7 factions in the Liberal Democratic Party, his competitors for the top job are former Defense Minister Shigeru Ishiba and Party Policy Chief Fumio Kishida. A vote is expected on the 14th of September. Shinzo Abe, Japan's longest-serving prime minister, announced his resignation last week over health concerns. On Thursday, September 3rd, marks the anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the world's anti-fascist war, and this year China celebrates the 75th anniversary. On Thursday morning, Chinese President Xi Jinping and other senior officials attended a commemoration in which they presented flower baskets to martyrs at the Museum of the War of Chinese People's Resistance against Japanese aggression in Beijing. Veterans, family members of martyrs, and representatives from all walks of life also attended the commemoration.
奏唱中华人民共和国
Floral tributes are being presented to the fallen heroes, and now the national anthem.
In Indonesia, some 60 painters have created a mural river snaking through a neighborhood in southern Jakarta. The 300-meter-long, 3-dimensional artwork is designed to lift people's spirits amid the COVID-19 pandemic gloom. South Korea's economy turned out to have shrunk by a seasonally adjusted 3.2% in the April to June period from the previous quarter. Revised central bank data showed on Tuesday just a notch above a 3.3% contraction estimated earlier. That was the sharpest contraction since the final quarter of 2008, when the economy decreased by 3.3%. The economy, Asia's 4th largest, slipped into a technical recession 2 straight quarters of decline in the June quarter, joining its peers Japan, Thailand, and Singapore. A 16.1% plunge in exports of goods and services was the biggest drag on the trade-reliant economy, though it was revised up from a July estimation of a 16.16% decline, still marking the worst contraction since the final quarter of 1963. Private consumption, which generates nearly half of the nation's gross domestic product, grew a revised 1.5% in sequential terms, slightly better than a 1.4% rise estimated earlier. The decades-old dream of zipping around in the sky in the same way as we drive on highways may be becoming less illusory. Japan's SkyDrive, incorporated among the myriads of flying car projects around the world, has carried out a successful, though modest, test flight with one person abroad. U.S. President Donald Trump is reiterating that Washington will shut down Chinese short video app TikTok unless its American operations are sold locally.
I told them that they have till September 15th to make a deal. After that, we close it up in this country. And I said that the United States has to be compensated, well compensated.
And on August the 6th, Trump signed an executive order to ban American transactions with TikTok, claiming the app threatened U.S. national security. It said the order would take effect in 45 days. But later, Trump extended the deadline to 90 days. Microsoft and Walmart are together bidding for the app's U.S. assets, competing with Oracle. Last week, China revised bans on technology exports to cover AI, the backbone of TikTok's operations. And the move is expected to complicate TikTok's sale in America. The company said it will strictly abide by China's new export rules.
Stay with us as we bring you more news on Asia Outlook. Chinese pharmaceutical company Sinopharm will start the third phase of a COVID-19 vaccine clinical trial in Peru. Around 12,000 vaccines already arrived in Lima. Phase 3 of the trial will include 6,000 people between the ages of 18 and 75. Trials with thousands of participants allow researchers to gather data on the efficacy of vaccines to pass regulatory approvals. A duck game cafe in southern China is attracting hordes of patrons with its lovely snow white pet ducks, which can provide entertaining companionship to animal lovers of all ages. For 45 yuan, $6.6 US, customers can spend up to 90 minutes with the fluffy call ducks, a domesticated breed and imported from Europe, in the coffee house located in Guangzhou, the capital city of South China's Guangdong province. Aesthetic medicine, or medical procedures aimed at improving one's appearance, has become a growing trend in China, especially among young people. Millions of people are now looking to enhance their looks in different ways and for different reasons. We look at what's driving this fever for beauty treatment.
18-year-old Miss Liu has just had her upper eyelids enhanced. She would have done it earlier, but her parents didn't allow it. Now, as she enters college, she felt a fresh new look was needed.
I followed many content creators online. Many girls are about my age. They look really pretty. I admire that. So I wish to make myself prettier through surgery.
Liu is just one of many. This summer just saw a surge in demand for cosmetic surgery, among young people especially. Whether they were trying to land a new job or starting a new phase of their lives, they wanted a more appealing look. It comes as a topic under the hashtag plastic surgery boom amid graduation went viral on social networks. Relevant business sensed a growing interest and tried to cash in through online discounts. And suddenly the internet was relating graduation season with beauty surgery. Doctors have also noticed a growing number of young people looking for enhancements.
For every 40 patients, there would be 10 to 20 students. They were mostly in high school, some even in junior middle school.
Plastic surgery was traditionally used to fix physical deformities or even restore functions. Nowadays, it is more associated with refining looks, but while the process has benefits, it's not without risks. Like many young people, Miss Wang wanted to look like her idols on social media, but it didn't turn out as she had imagined.
If I tilt my head up, you can see that one of my nostrils is deformed.
Statistics show that over 20 million Chinese spent money on aesthetic medicine procedures in 2019. Over half of them were under 28. Experts suggest whatever vogue they're after, they shouldn't get too carried away. Guan Chao, CGTN.
Kyodo News reported on Wednesday the Japanese government is considering offering COVID-19 vaccinations for free to all residents to limit the number of future fatalities and those developing severe symptoms and needing hospitalization in the country. According to the sources, owing to the highly contagious nature of COVID-19 and its potential to render patients with extremely severe symptoms, the government aims to have as many people as possible to get vaccinated. Last week, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe announced that the government wants to secure enough COVID-19 vaccinations for all of the country's citizens by the first half of 2021 as part of its new measures and the protocols to combat the epidemic. The government said the vaccines will be purchased from reserve funds from the budget of the current fiscal year to March of 2021. According to Kyodo News, along with healthcare workers, the elderly with underlying symptoms may also be prioritized for receiving COVID-19 vaccinations, depending on their municipalities. Hong Kong started mass COVID-19 testing called Universal Community Testing Program on Tuesday. Residents can get free testing after signing up. HKSAR Chief Executive Carrie Lam and other government principal officials were among those tested on the program's first day on Tuesday. A Twitter account of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personal website appeared to be hacked early on Thursday, with a series of tweets requesting its followers to donate to a relief fund through cryptocurrency, which was subsequently taken down. Twitter did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. Modi's office also did not immediately respond to a request for comments on the tweets posted on the account Narendra Modi_in. French President Emmanuel Macron said Lebanese authorities could face sanctions if they fail to deliver government reforms by an October deadline. Macron made the statement during his second visit to the Lebanese capital in less than a month. Beirut fell into a scene of chaos following last month's explosion that left more than 200 dead and thousands injured.
Beirut is the scene of chaos these days. Just hours after diplomat Mustafa Adib was appointed as the new prime minister designate of Lebanon, amid mounting international pressure, French President Emmanuel Macron arrived in the Lebanese capital. This is his second visit since last month's explosion that left more than 200 dead and thousands injured. He was met with angry protesters chanting, "Mustafa Adib, no," someone they view as part of the old establishment. Macron marked Lebanon's centenary by planting a cedar tree at the Djaj Cedar Reserve to strengthen the future of the country, according to the Élysée Palace. The French Air Force display team flew overhead, leaving smoke trails of red, white, and green, the national colors of Lebanon, whose borders were proclaimed by France 100 years ago. During a visit to the Beirut port, the site of the blast, Macron said he proposed a roadmap that would entail a follow-up with the new prime minister. After long discussions, the French president gave a press conference at the French embassy's Pine residence, where dozens of demonstrators also scuffled with security forces.
This is no blank check for Lebanon. Quite the contrary. This is a demand with an appointment in 6 to 8 weeks, which takes into account these 15 days at most for forming a government, and these 4 weeks of a functioning government.
He added the roadmap would include banking reforms with the central bank. This comes as Lebanon faces its worst economic crisis since the civil war in the mid-1970s.
If by the set date, the end of October, your leaders haven't met their commitments, we must draw consequences. What does this mean? This means that first, if nothing has been done, and at that point it's clear, I will have to tell the international community that we cannot meet our aid commitments in Lebanon.
Macron said that he wasn't opposed to holding an international aid conference to help the country in Paris in mid-October. He's expected to return to Lebanon in December for his third visit. Yumna Nawfal, CGTN, Beirut.
The Olympic flame is on a display at the Tokyo's Olympic Museum after the organizers were forced to scrap their traditional relay and put the games on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's take a look. And that's all we have for today's Asia Outlook. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Until next time.